Good morning, third grade. It's Miss Felker. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be working out of our book on page 28. So go ahead and flip to page 28. If you don't have your book, I've included a scan of it into the document. And I want you to look at William Tell Overture. So William Tell Overture actually has a new rhythm that we haven't learned yet. If you look in the second to last measure on the second line, let me see if I can show it to you. So right there. I know you can't really see it on the screen, but you can kind of tell where I'm pointing. There is a new kind of rest, and it looks kind of like a walking cane that people would use if they can't walk very well. And here's my hand drawing of it. So this is called an eighth rest, and an eighth rest is half of a beat, so it's kind of like an eighth note, but it's an eighth rest, and it's silent. So it's like half of a TT, so it's like T, but there's no sound. And what I like to think of it is it's kind of, it's like as fast as a clap. So if you're going ta, that's your rest. But don't actually clap it, but for practicing purposes, you can. So I want you to look at that measure, and I kind of wrote it out without the staff. This is the rhythm that's there in that measure. So it's ta, rest, T, T, T. Ta, rest, T, T, T. So I want you to look at that, and we're going to clap this out. And we're going to say it in rhythm syllables. And you feel free to clap that eighth rest. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ooh, I did it wrong. Ta, T, T, T. And you know what? In the example, I was saying too many TTs. So this is right. So it's ta, T, T, T. And then it would go ta, ta, ta. So this is actually the Horsey song that I play on the tempo blocks a couple years in a row. So you're going da 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 dun 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 ta t t t ta ta ta. So let's look at those last two measures. Let's say it. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta t t t ta ta ta. Ta t t t ta ta ta. Ta t t t ta ta ta. For some reason it's sounding very strange to me. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I'm having like a brain fart on music today. Ta ta t t t. There we go. So it's ta t t t ta ta ta. Let's do it 3 times since I totally taught it to you wrong. Ready? Ta t t t ta ta ta. Ta t t t ta ta ta. One more time. Ta t t t ta ta ta. Good. Can we do note names and fingerings on that one now? And no clapping. But if you need to like move your head and be like ta t t t, that's totally fine. All right. So our first note in that measure is a D. So go ahead and do your D. So we're gonna go D. D, rest, C, B, A, G, B, G. Again, D, rest, C, B, A, G, B, G. Now this rhythm is actually really important because you're going to need this in one of the higher belts. Or at least that eighth rest is going to be in the higher belt. So I hope this helps you for those who are on Puff the Magic Dragon if you're choosing to do that for your red belt. So let's do that measure again. D, rest, C, B, A, G, B, G. Now this is going to be really tricky, so just practice that. Let's start from the beginning. Note names and fingerings. Let me pull up our metronome. And we're going to try to go as slow as we can today, because that is a tricky rhythm. So let's move that down to 60. Note names and fingerings. Ready? Oh! Also, you'll notice there's a pickup there. So if you remember what a pickup is, it's like the last note or the last beat of the measure. So 2 eighth notes is 1 beat. And the rest of the notes are at the end. So you notice that last measure only has 3 beats. So that's what happened. All right. 1, 2, go. D, 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 G, A, B. D, 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 G, B, B, A, D. D, 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 G, A, B. G, B, D, rest. C, B, oh, darn it. Start right on the second line. 1, 2, ready, go. D, 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 G, A, B, G, B, D, C, B, A, G, B, G. For some reason it works better for me if I sing it. I don't know why. All right, let's try playing it. Good luck. Also, you'll remember keeping your thumb at the bottom here in the back is really helpful when you have to switch back and forth. So start keeping that there. Ready? 1, 2, breathe. Sorry, start over. 1, 2, breathe. Good. All right. That one's tricky. See, even teachers make mistakes. So if you're having troubles with it, just know I made a mistake too. All right, let's look at Amazing Grace. Now, this is one of the hardest belt test songs you're probably going to do this year. And for those who have gotten to it, you will probably attest to it that it is not easy, especially if you've gotten stuck on those slurs. Now, that's what we're going to learn about today is a slur. And we kind of briefly learned about it in class, but we're officially going to learn it now. So a slur, I just happened to circle them, looks just like a tie. But you'll notice that they are not the same note. So this one goes between a B and a G instead of a B and a B. So if it was a B and a B, that would be a tie, which means the notes are combined into one rhythm. So if it was like a quarter note and a quarter note, that would now be 2 beats connected together. This is between 2 separate notes, which is a slur. They look very, very similar. That means your notes are going to be smoothly connected. So normally, if we were playing hot cross buns, it could sound like this. Now, what you're doing to change those notes is you're moving air every time you play. So you're going. You can feel yourself going true, 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 true. Now, if I were to slur hot cross buns, it would be all connected. You don't want to stop your air. You just keep blowing, and the only thing you do is move your fingers, and it should sound like this. So try that. So let's do hot cross buns normally. Now, can you slur those 3 notes together, which means they're going to be completely connected. You don't want to stop your air at all. Just keep blowing. Just move your fingers. Ready? 1, 2, ready, breathe. Apparently, I can't play today either. All right. Now, every time you see a slur, and feel free to circle them in your music, just like I did. I circled all my slurs that I can remember. And actually, there's even a tie in there just to throw you off. That's crazy sauce. Make sure you circle all your slurs so you remember where they are. And then let's try it. Are you ready? Note names and fingering. So when you're doing the note names of a slur, you can just be like, just go B, G, B. It's really hard to slur when you're talking. Are you ready? Note names and fingerings. What is happening? That was strange. My metronome's going crazy sauce. Okay, there's a pickup here, and actually we're going to switch this to 3/4. Okay. 1, 2, 1, go. D, G, B, G, B, A, G, E, D, D, G, B, G, B, A, D, C, D, D, G, B, A, B, A, G. Good. I have no idea why I sang that song that time, but I hope it helped you realize how it's supposed to sound, even though I couldn't do the slurs. All right, here's what it sounds like with the slurs, so don't play yet. I want you to hear what it sounds like. So you noticed every time one of those circled slurs was played, the notes were connected. All right, let's play it together. So this is in 3/4 with a pickup. 1, breathe. Alright, that is really hard, and I have a feeling you did an awesome job. If you have any questions about those slurs, feel free to let me know. Go ahead and shoot me an email, and I will do my best to try to help you with that, okay? Alright, have a great day, guys. See you next week. Bye.